Welcome back. Well, relatively good news with respect to Acadiana and Sally. Bad news as you go farther to the east, especially into Mississippi. A little bit of a forecast track change as expected based on the late models that we've been looking at, and we'll show you those models coming up in just a bit. But right now, Acadiana pretty much in the clear, I think, with respect to this storm, unless there is a major change. But what we are watching is this upper level low associated with Sally as well. We're looking at the upper atmosphere and weak high pressure off to the north, and it looks like Sally's going to head towards southeast Louisiana and then kind of thread the weak high pressure systems that are off to the north of us. So that's what we'll be on the lookout for. Right now, it's being pushed by a high pressure ridge out in the Atlantic. But notice on the satellite imagery this evening, starting to see a much larger thunderstorm cluster. The hurricane hunters are in there. Didn't really find pressures lowering yet, but I think we're just an hour or two away from seeing that and this beginning to intensify. Right now with 60-mile-per-hour winds, pressure hasn't dropped off a whole lot from the earlier advisories. Now moving to the northwest at about 6, so a little bit more of a northwesterly run rather than west-northwest. And here's the latest forecast track that, if you remember earlier, it was over by the O in New Orleans. I was betting on the N or the S, and actually they moved it farther to the east based on overwhelming computer model guidance and the envelope now pushing off farther to the east. But nonetheless, this is going to become a pretty strong Category 1 storm grazing southeast Louisiana at 7 a.m. on Tuesday, and then just the outer banks of the coastal marsh of Louisiana through Tuesday evening, and then eventually getting inland Tuesday night, and then eventually weakening. But a very slow-moving storm, so there's going to be still a big surge and still very heavy rainfall with this system more than likely. Now, I think these tropical storm warnings may be dropped for Acadiana. We'll have to wait and see, but hurricane warnings still remain in effect, and that may wait until 4 o'clock in the morning, but we'll leave that up to the National Weather Service. Hurricane warnings in effect for all of southeast Louisiana, and then pushing all the way over to the Alabama border. This quite hasn't updated yet. As these updates come in, these 10 o'clock bulletins, the data slowly trickles in over the last half hour. This is fresh, though. This is the latest peak storm surge, and it's going to be 1 to 3 close to home or less. No issues on storm surge here. Certainly 4 to 6 over toward, say, the Grand Isle area. Then this 7 to 11 foot surge with a slow moving storm. So you're going to have everything in red here is going to be under the Gulf of Mexico. So this is bad news for the eastern marshes of Louisiana after pounding southwest Louisiana with Hurricane Laura just weeks ago. So another storm surge event, and up to 4 to 6 feet possible into Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Maurepas. So here's the big picture, latest NAM model. Notice tomorrow a sunny day. I'm going no more than 20% on our rain chances when you might see a renegade shower. It's going to be a breezy day, 91 the high. Heat index up there, but we're going to have a northeast wind, and there you can't miss your tropical storm or hurricane. Again, with most of the weather maybe just staying just east of New Orleans. You're going to have some winds all the way down to the coast here, but the worst of it looks to be over by Waveland, Gulfport, Biloxi, moving inland as we head into late Monday into Tuesday and Tuesday night. So that's where the main action appears to be with this storm, and that is good news for Acadiana. And here's the radius of tropical storm force winds, 39 or better. They'd barely make it into the eastern portions of Louisiana. Your hurricane force winds here in the red, that's going to be heading into Mississippi. So that's why I think we might see that tropical storm warning drop sooner than later for portions of Acadiana. Here's the latest wind gust model, and again, pretty much in concert with the latest forecast advisory coming from the National Hurricane Center. 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow night, eastern Louisiana into Mississippi, and then eventually you're going to see some 70s and 80s as the storm works its way inland going into Tuesday afternoon and eventually Tuesday evening. For us, just a breeze out of the north, 20 to 25, so looking good there. Rainfall, the biggest rainfall should be well to the east of us, so not much rain locally, but upwards of a foot or more. You get into this cream color, you're talking 15 inches of rain, so big rains for our friends to the east. 24-hour forecast, and we may be pushing it on the rain chances. I think tomorrow's going to be a pretty nice day, albeit hot, a nice breezy day with the winds out of the north-northeast, and maybe a few storms spreading out as we head into Tuesday, but overall a quiet weather pattern. And then we get toward the end of the week and into the weekend, slightly drier and slightly cooler. No real cool front, but fall officially gets here a week from Tuesday. So that is the good news. That's it for weather. We're going to be right back